Okay, I'm back. I got my cabbage put away in a Mylar bag, and actually this pouch could have fit some more cabbage in there, but I'll probably pick up some more and get some more dehydrated. Anyway, these are great storage alternatives to the jars that let the light in. I think it deteriorates the food, and if you're looking to get the longest shelf life out of it, these are really nice. They stack up neatly or store, one right after another in a container pretty nicely. Anyway, I wanted to share what I do with that. And so I'm going to start my bread making. I'm sure everybody's made bread or seen someone make bread. Pretty simple ingredients, and that's what I like about it. I can control what I'm doing and what goes in there. So first, I use this instant yeast, Saf Instant. There's a few of them. I keep my yeast in the freezer, so about 2.5 teaspoons, and the water should be warm, but not warm enough where you want to take your finger out of the water. So I just kind of feel my way, because you don't want to burn. The yeast is a live microorganism, and if you wake it up with too hot of water, it'll kill it. So you also don't want anything too cold. Now, I had yeast that was expired that I kept in the freezer, and I just used up one that was expired about, I believe it was 2 years ago. Little package got away from me, and I thought, well, I'm going to see if it blooms, and sure enough it did, and it made a beautiful batch of rolls. So that being said, I am going to reach over the camera here and get me a napkin to put my fork on. So I'm going to let that yeast bloom in the water and get my other ingredients in order. I will put that in a jar. So I've got handy dandy mixing bowl. This says all-purpose flour, but it's actually King Arthur's white wheat flour. So I just put it in this container, and I've got it in a big 25-pound container, and we go through quite a bit just because I bake all my own bread and all my own tortillas, and so biscuits, all that. I always have flour on hand. King Arthur is my favorite, but I will confess I do buy Costco flour now and then, because it is way cheaper. For 25 pounds, I think it's $7 and something. So I pretty much don't measure exactly. I do it by sight. Oops, make a mess. And this looks pretty good to me. I think I'm going to actually, stop there. So I mix all my dry ingredients first, like everyone else. And this is, I want to talk about this for a second. This is a dough enhancer. And what it does is it lightens wheat flour up, because wheat is heavy, and that's why wheat bread is usually dense and people don't like it. This will make the softest, yummiest peanut butter and jelly approved bread you ever put in your mouth. So anyways, I don't really measure exactly, but it's 2 heaping tablespoons for me on that one. And I get this at Emergency Essentials. And I believe for the month of July, it was on sale for a couple dollars less than it normally is. Normally it's about $6.95. I keep this in the refrigerator also. And if you do a lot of bread at once, there's a recipe on the back. There's a bread machine recipe. There's 0 fat, 0 sugar, 1 gram of fiber. It won't hurt you. It just lightens up that, because you work so hard to get the yeast to fluff up your bread. You don't want it weighed down because of wheat. So also, if you were grinding your own wheat, that you would want to have that on hand. Now I do add a little bit of sugar or honey or molasses, or actually I am going to go get my other raw sugar today. And I'll be back. Hold on. good thing I remembered this because I also wanted to put flax in there. I put flaxseed, organic cold mill flaxseed in our bread. It just adds another layer of healthiness and gets it into our diet. Can't get enough good stuff in your diet. Okay, so, and again, I'm not going to measure, but probably, once I get it broke up, probably a couple tablespoons, I'm guessing. 1 and 2. And I really like this sugar. It's a great alternative. It's got a little bold flavor to it. And you know, again, it's more of a raw sugar. And then we need salt, because you got to balance things out. And again, I don't measure. I use kosher salt right there. I'm going to get my olive oil ready. And I just mix all these dry ingredients. Oh, we got to get some flax in there. I don't want to put too much because, again, it can weigh the bread down. We want a nice fluffy bread. And at this point, if I wanted a flavored bread, a cheese bread, maybe cheese and jalapenos, oh, that would be good. Garlic and rosemary, I've done that. My husband kind of got a little burnout on garlic and rosemary bread, but this is when I would put that in. So my yeast is over here blooming away. Yeah. It looks good. Getting all bubbly and good. I let it sit for a few minutes, make sure it is active. And then I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of olive oil. You could use other oils, or you could omit the oil out completely, but I really like the flavor that it lends, and it keeps the bread nice and moist. There we go. And then I start the mixing process. I'm going to add my yeast and water. There we go. And then I'm going to come over to the refrigerator and add some buttermilk. Now buttermilk, all it is the liquid that comes off when they make butter. All the fat stays in the butter, and pretty much this is 99% fat free. This is really good. I grew up in dairy country, so buttermilk, I mean, we drank it. When we were out of milk, we drank buttermilk. I still love it. So I've always got it on hand for marinating chicken. In fact, I'll be barbecuing chicken later this afternoon for our dinner, and I will marinate it with the rest of that buttermilk. So then I start my mixing process, and I start with a fork to begin with, just to get it incorporated and see what my dough is going to look like. And I want to make sure that it doesn't get too dry. And I'm a pretty good guesser at this point after making it for as long as I have, to guess if my dough is going to be, oh yeah, I just about measured everything perfect. And so then I start my kneading process, and that's just making it all come together. I'll tell you, my magic wish, if I had a wish that would be granted, my magic wish would be to have a KitchenAid mixer. I would love that, and I would use it, but